Hello! Hi! And welcome back to my blind read-through of Saya no Uta, the Song of Saya. The last time we were together, we had the neighbors for dinner. I feel like those jokes are just way too easy to make for this game. And I also feel that makes them way funnier by default, right? Because the obvious jokes are always the funniest ones. You don't need to hear any more about me telling really good jokes, though. We want to get right back down to business, back into the video game. So let's do that. It is time to find out where the hell else this story can go. Because now we've got two friends left, and I don't know. Things aren't looking too good for Yo and Koji at this point. We can only hope, though. Thank you for taking the time to see us, Koji says, his humble bow concealing his surprise at the doctor's youth. Even without her light makeup, she wouldn't look a day over 30. She must be quite talented to be leading a leading neurosurgeon at such a young age.
いいのよ。あなたたちみたいな人が来てくれたのは私としてもありがたいところだし。
I'm sorry, but I mean, I gotta. Look at all this. Look at this! Fine specimen! I need more of her on the screen. Just her! God, she's so good. Don't mention it. I was hoping somebody like you would come along. Her friendly smile has none of the coldness one might expect from her sharp, refined beauty.
はじめまして。崎坂文則くんの主治医の丹保です。
文則の友人で殿尾浩二と言います。彼女は筑波陽。
Yo gives a quick bow, her expression apologetic. When they arrived at the T University Medical Center and asked to see Fuminori's doctor, Koji and Yo had been prepared for rejection. They hadn't expected the ease with which their request was granted.
崎坂くんの件について話が聞きたいっていうことだけど、それは私の方でも同じでね。
はあ。
彼、一昨日の診察に来てくれなかったのよ。留守電に入れた伝言にも返事がないし。
He's been a little occupied. 2 days ago, the same day Fuminori was searching that abandoned house, Koji frowns, wondering what was important enough for him to blow off his appointment.
彼、学校ではどんな様子？
どうもこうも。もうめちゃくちゃです。
Seeing Yo's shoulders jerk out of the corner of his eye, Koji regrets not choosing his words more carefully.
事故の前とまるで人が違ったみたいに見えます。僕たちもいろいろとどうしていいかわからなくて、それで。
あなたたちも医大生？
Are you medical students too? She asks out of nowhere.
はい。
彼のカルテ見てみたいと
I
思う。
don't think this feels like a very intense breach of the Hippocratic Oath. This feels like a big thing you probably shouldn't do.
見せてくれるんですか、そんなもの。
You'd really show them to us, Koji replies, incredulous.
そう思った人がいるみたいなのよ。それも病院には無断でね。
Dr. Tanbo regards him silently for a moment, then sighs and says, someone wanted to see them, and without the hospital's
一
permission.
昨日の晩、この病院に誰かが押し入ってね。
Okay, so they've
保管
already
庫か
been
ら
stolen.
崎坂くんのカルテを盗んでいったの。
本当ですか。
She stares hard at the astonished students, then shakes her head with a tired smile. Okay, she probably thinks they did it, maybe?
まあ、あなたたちは無関係そうね。ちょっと安心したわ。
Kind of figured that maybe she was prodding around to kind of see like, hey, maybe you do know something and you're just here to like cover your tracks.
当たり前です。
でも、犯人は崎坂くんの容体に興味があるか、それとも彼の治療記録を消したかったのか。
I can't figure out what Saya would want to be doing with it, though. Like, she has to know that if there's something wrong with him, and like she finds a way to cure it, then, you know, she's gonna see, or he's gonna see that she's like a big old meaty tentacle monster. But it probably has something to do with her dad, if she's really actually looking for
いずれに
him.
せよ、彼に関わりのある人間としか思えないわ。
はあ。
An ominous thought flashes through Koji's mind. It couldn't have been Fuminori himself, could it? Koji looks at Dr. Tombo and finds her staring right back at him, her expression grave. He realizes that she must be harboring the same suspicion.
あなたには他に心当たりはない？咲坂君の知り合いでそういうことをやりかねないような人。
Perhaps Dr. Tombo didn't have anyone in mind when she asked, but Koji's thoughts immediately fly to the eerie house to which Fuminori led him.
知り合いだか何なのか自分にもよくわからないんですが。
Oh, here we
医学関
go.
係の人で。
Here we go. That name's gonna ring some bells. Koji stops speaking as he sees a dramatic change that has come across Dr. Tombo's face.
ご存知なんですか？
咲坂君がその男といつどうやって知り合ったのかわかる？
いえ、こっちが知りたいぐらいです。先生、一体何者なんですか？あの鴎外っていう人は。
After remaining silent for a short time, Dr. Tombo looses a heavy sigh.
いいわ。その気になれば簡単に調べがつくことだし。鴎外正彦はうちの大学にいた教授よ。
Like, we kind of figured that much out, at least.
いろいろと不祥事があって半年以上前に免職になったけど。
Certain incidents, you say. Was he dismissed or was he transferred out?
不祥事って一体何を？
そこから先は部外者に話せることじゃないわ。どのみち咲坂君には何の関係もないことよ。
I don't know that I buy that. Koji has no argument with which to answer Dr. Tombo's flat rejection. However, he can't shake the feeling that this Ogai person is the key to unraveling the mystery surrounding Fuminori.
先生、もしかしたら咲坂文則は刑事事
Doctor,
件に
he
関わっているかもし
says,
れないんです。
making up his mind. Fuminori might be involved in a crime. Well, not directly, and maybe not, like accidentally. Oh boy. At this sudden declaration, both Yo and Dr. Tombo raise their
どう
eyebrows.
いうこと？
彼を訪ねていったっきり行方不明になってしまった人間がいます。もちろん文則は否定していますが。
それって近江ちゃんのこと？
Koji is unable to bear the shock in Yo's
す
voice.
まん、スカバ。君には言えなかった。
Dr. Tombo is frowning, her expression even more serious than
その
before.
鴎外という人物が今文則の関心の焦点になっているらしいんです。彼が何者で文則が彼の何について探っているのか、それが分かれば少しは事情が見えてくるかもしれません。お願いです先生、教えてください。この病院で一体何があったんですか？
Have we finally shaken loose the hospital lore? Did we finally tick all of the flags to finally get the hospital lore? Dr. Tombo hesitates for some time, refusing to make eye contact, but she finally shakes her head. All right, now change the music.
ごめんなさい。こればかりは
Oh, we're not gonna get it
私の
now?
一度
Come
で話せる事
on!
柄じゃないの。
I thought we were gonna have the dramatic change in BGM to let us know we were about to go into lore zone.
先生。
でも少しだけ待って。私は私なりにいろいろと調べてみる。放っておける状況じゃないのはよく理解できたから。
See, she's still shady as hell. And the thing that has me thinking now is just like, okay, did these two just like put themselves in even like even more danger now that like they're talking to her directly about this? Like they've brought like I feel like Ogai, whatever he did is buried so deep here, and then that people find out about it, it's probably not good for how their situations are gonna end up.
お願いします。
Koji is out of options. All that's left is to trust this young doctor. It's frustrating, but a friend's rights only go so far. Jesus! I mean, I guess the situation is definitely one that calls for it, but still.
あなたたちも何か新しい動きがあったらすぐに私に教えて。
ええ、わかりました。
Alright. So, a bit of a shaky alliance. What happened to me? Yosuke's consciousness returns slowly, as though rising from a ball. What? He's cold. No, hot. Something itches, like tepid tongues and cold slugs crawling over his skin. Oh no! Oh god, are we about to be, like, first person digested? Am I ready for this? Am I ready? Are we about to be first person digested? What the hell's going on? Timidly, he opens his eyes. It's everywhere. The thing that attacked him in the living room. It's everywhere. Terror shatters Yosuke's sanity. He throws off the thing lying atop of him, but his wild flailing sends him crashing to the floor. But is it really the floor? The long, wriggling fibers of what should be the carpet are winding themselves around his fingers. The floor is made of worms. That's an awful thought. Just your floor. It's just worms now. I can imagine that for some reason. He tears his limbs free of the worms and tries to stand, but loses his balance and tumbles to the floor again. The worms immediately swarm over his body. Where the hell am I? Where did this thing take me? Yosuke crawls across the worm-ridden floor towards the only exit from the pulsating room. When he gets outside, however, all he can see is blood, bile, and rotten meat. There is no place to run. Most terrifying of all, this hellish place has the same layout as Yosuke's house. In a half-mad daze, he wanders through the nightmarish mockery of his home. In the small room where his studio should be, he finds an easel made of bones displaying a blood-soaked canvas, like some cruel joke. Everything is exactly where it should be in Yosuke's studio. So is this like it really happening, or did he like get infected? Cause like it sounds like he's perceiving the world in the same way that Fuminori is. Howling, Yosuke lashes out against everything within reach. The easel of bones shatters, driving splinters into his fist. He feels the pain, but does not wake from the nightmare. If this isn't a dream, then what is it? When his strength gives out, Yosuke falls to his knees, sobbing. For the first time in his life, he prays to the gods. The sound of the door opening and closing grates on his ears. That is you get that, man. That is the look of a very, very terrified neighbor who cares a lot for his house and his yard. Downstairs, the front door? Someone else is here? Oh God, something! He's been infected or something. Yosuke trembles at the blood-curdling sound. It's that thing again. The monster has returned. Yeah, he's fucked up now, and he's like, this is his family, and he's gonna fucking kill them or something. Oh God, this is gonna be real bad. Yosuke hears the sound of something slimy sloshing its way up the stairs. Even as he cowers in terror, he slides his trembling hand across the floor and grabs one of the bones from the broken easel. The tip of the bone is nice and sharp. If he holds it in both hands and puts his weight behind it, he might be able to use it to defend himself. The monstrous growls are getting closer. Holding his breath, Yosuke presses his back against the wall next to the door. Here it goes! Oh, man! The pounding of his heart is like a thunder in his ears, so loud that he fears the creature might hear it. He knows it will eat him if it finds him again, but it's all he can do to keep from crying. At last, the door creaks open. So what? Now I don't know what's going on here. Like Saya is very clearly, man, maybe there's actually nothing wrong with Fuminori's brain at all and the procedure went fine and she just fucked with him while he was in the hospital and like infected him somehow or something. And even then I don't know why she would do that. Oh, so many questions. Sorry. Yosuke leaps on the creature as it enters, fear turning his roar into a high-pitched scream. The flesh beast is covered in sludge and vile juices, but before horror can paralyze him, Yosuke brings his bone stake stabbing down. The monster screams as the stake pierces its chest and punches through the other side. It falls back, writhing in agony. The sight of its pain sets Yosuke's blood on fire. I can win. I can kill it. If I finish it off before it enters my head again, I'm safe. Yosuke grabs the bone and twists with all his might. The monster convulses and gurgles, its trembling tentacles reaching up as though begging for help. Yosuke knocks it to the floor, then brings his heel crashing down on its flopping body again and again. With each stomp, its groans and spasms grow weaker. When the monster at last stops twitching, Yosuke, panting hard, tears the stake from its corpse and rises to his feet. Oh no! Oh god! Kid! Oh no! Kid, oh jeez. Yosuke turns around to see another smaller monster peeking out at him from the stair landing. There's still one left. His desperate, rage-filled attack both exhilarated him and gave him a taste for violence. This one will be easier. It's smaller and weaker. Grinning maniacally, Yosuke rises his stake and moves towards the second creature. The monster flees screaming down the stairs. Not about to let his prey escape, Yosuke roars and gives chase. The thought that killing the monsters might end this nightmare feeds his savage bloodlust. When the monster trips and falls in the dining room, Yosuke leaps on top of it and brings the stake crashing down. His bloodlust unsated, he pulls it free, then drives it again into the monster's flesh, once, twice, thrice, and more, until there's nothing left but shredded, pulverized meat. Eventually, the only sound in the house is Yosuke's heavy breathing. He has slain 2 monsters, but the nightmare shows no signs of ending. Yosuke staggers to the front door and goes inside. Outside. The sky, the city, everything has gone mad. Twisted shapes, nauseating colors, stinking air. There's no escape, no end to the nightmare. The last remnant of Yosuke's sanity vanishes like dust in the wind. Oh, well, I'm hearing your voice, and it sounds normal. Yosuke turns to the sound of the young girl's voice. Hi! She is standing in front of the house next door, wearing a spotless one-piece over her pure white skin. In the midst of this filth-ridden world, she alone glows with beauty. Oh no. Don't! Yosuke feels a sudden black lust rise from within him. This was an experiment? Yosuke walks up to the strangely jubilant girl and brushes his hand against her long, smooth hair.
こんな可愛らしい女の子はこの世界には君一人しかいないんだろうね。
おじさん？
She looks up at the man towering over her, perhaps disturbed by his hungry
お
stare.
嬢ちゃん、おじさんと遊んでくれるかい？
We can play we can play games on YouTube, but I don't think that we are allowed to play the game that is about to be played here.
いいけど、何するの？
A grin parts Yosuke's lips and he replies,
そりゃあもうおじさんが楽しめそうなこと全部さ。
With that, he grabs the girl's collar and tears the front of her dress wide open. Shock and fear twist the lovely girl's delicate features, simulating Yosuke's sadism. Even after killing those two monsters, the embers of violence still smolder in his heart, and now they have fuel to burn.
いい顔だよ、お嬢ちゃん。おじさんにもっと可愛らしい顔をして見せてくれないかい？
The terrified girl flees into the Sakisaka house. Yosuke runs after her, feeling the joy of the hunt.
いや、来ないで！
Even in desperation, she has no hope of outrunning an adult. Yosuke charges down the hallway and catches up to her in the kitchen. He grabs her from behind and wrestles her to the floor before she can resist. As always, the sights of the city grate on my nerves. Today, however, I don't feel as much hatred as I usually do. I've grown more accustomed to my condition, but that is not the reason for today's high spirits. My search for the Ogai house has finally borne fruit. When I pulled all the drawers out of the desk in the study, I found an envelope stuck between the desk and the wall. It must have fallen off the back of the writing tray. Inside, there are 3 outdoor photographs. I couldn't recognize the scenery due to my condition, but I'm pretty sure they show 3 buildings. Scrawled on the back of each photo was an address: Nagano Prefecture, M Village, Tochigi Prefecture, S-Town, Shizuoka Prefecture, H-Town. None of the names are familiar, so they must be way out in the countryside. The photos are all dated more than 10 years ago. I don't know why they were taken or what they mean, but maybe Saya will be able to make some sense of them. In any case, this is something that even Saya missed while she was living in that house. I wonder how she'll react when I show her what I found. Saya, I want so badly to see her. The thought of her waiting for me speeds my footsteps. When I step through the gate, I see the front doors wide open again. This is the second time this has happened.
助けて！助けて！海鳥！
Upon entering the house this time, however, the sound of Saya crying chills my blood. And it's not just her. I also hear a low, wet grunting. There's no time to take off my shoes. I race down the hallway, propelled by a terrifying premonition. A monster is in my house, and it's raping Saya. The filth oozing from its body spreads across her skin as it drives itself with animal ferocity between her weakly trembling thighs. The monster forces its grotesque penis deeper and deeper into her, each brutal thrust warping her vagina in clearly painful ways. Each time the beast moves, Saya's sobs become cries of agony. She looks at me with tear-filled eyes and calls my name in a weak, breathless voice. Rage erupts inside me like black lava. The monster stops gorging itself on Saya's body and turns its head to look at me. Surprised by my own composure, I slip past it and grab the meat cleaver sitting next to the sink. So I kind of thought that I thought maybe if you maybe saw another person that she had infected, maybe that he would see that it was the next door neighbor, but that's not really what's happening here. So that's basically what Yosuke is going to see too, is he thinks he's going to be being attacked by ugly flesh creature thing. Without a moment's hesitation, I slash at the monster's face. Oh my lord. That is... Oh god. It screams and staggers away from Saya. My attack must have blinded it because it flails its tentacles wildly and tries to drive me away. My bloodlust still unsated, I calmly seize one of the appendages and plunge my weapon twice into its quivering flesh. The blade enters its body with fascinating ease. Each strike sprays my face with its blood. Oh, wow, dude. Just going now, hacking away, jeez. As I carve the monster to pieces and savor its hideous screams, my mind is finally consumed by rage. No mercy. I'll see this monster suffer for what it has done to Saya. I give myself to the fury, howling at the top of my lungs as I slash and slash and slash. Even after the flesh beast stops moving, I stop slashing until I realize I can no longer feel pain. Cursing myself for killing it so quickly, I stab the cleaver into the floor, snapping it in half. When my thoughts finally regain some cohesion, I find myself still digging the broken knife into the floor. The monster is gone, but pieces of it are scattered everywhere. I stop cutting into the tile. In the sudden silence, I hear Saya's faint sobs coming from the corner of the kitchen.
Saya.
I pull the cowering Saya into my arms. She stiffens in fear at first, but as soon as she realizes that it's me, she clings to my body and cries. I don't know what to say. I can only keep holding her. This should have never happened to Saya. Everything in this twisted world is to blame. Yes, including myself. I couldn't protect her. If I'd been here, then maybe I could have prevented this. I'm sorry, she says again and again in a voice choked with tears. Not wanting to hear that from her, I pull her head into my chest. I try to reassure her, but she shakes her head vigorously in denial. I don't understand. What is she saying?
この人の頭の中を文則と同じ状態にして文則が感じるのと同じように世界が見えるようにしたの。
I messed with his brain, she answers, glancing at the dismembered monster with her swollen eyes. I made the inside of his head the same as yours. I made him see the world like you do. How did you do that? And if you did that, then you obviously did that to him in the first place. Like, how else would his brain have gotten this way? It takes me some time to understand the meaning of Saya's words. Finally regaining her composure, Saya responds to my confusion with a low voice.
私にはそういうことができるの。他の生き物の体を組み替えたり調整したり私に生まれつき備わってる能力なの。どこをどういじればいいのかはその生き物によってまちまちだからちゃんと勉強してからでないとダメだけど文則の脳に何があったのか私は下調べして分かってたから。
Okay, so I think you know what happened to his brain, but I think you know because you're the one that did it. You were at the hospital.
だから同じことができるかどうか他の人で実験してみたの。
なんでそんなことを。
そうすればみんな文則みたいに私に優しくしてくれるようになるかと思って。
I see what's happening here. I get it. I understand. My heart aches at the loneliness in her voice as she confesses her sorrowful wish.
それなのにこの人は全然優しくなんかなかった。
Yeah, fuck that piece of shit.
さやのことをいじめたいって壊したいって言ってあんな。
She starts crying into my chest again. Unable to say anymore, I gently rub her back while trying to get my jumbled thoughts together. What is Saya that she can do such a thing? The answer is beyond me. However, there is one thing that I can answer here and now. Saya is mistaken.
僕がさやに優しいのは僕が事故に遭ったからだって、そう君は思ったんだね。
Yes, she nods sadly. I smile and shake my head.
違うよ。それはただの始まりでしかない。そんな簡単なことじゃないんだよ。
Yeah, like we ate a person together.
僕とさやが出会って、それから二人で過ごした時間の、その一日一日の積み重ねが、今の僕らの関係を作ってるんだ。わかるかい？
みのり。
あの日から今日までさやと一緒にいた僕だから、さやに優しくして大切にしてあげたいって、そう思う僕になった。そう思われるさやになったんだ。これって大変なことだろう。
Saya is crying, but now her tears feel warm against my chest.
わかってる。さっきやっとわかった。
Her smile shines through her tears.
さやには文則しかいないんだって。文則みたいな人はもう他に誰もいないんだって。
Now more than ever before, I feel the depth of the bond between us. And I'm sure that Saya feels it too. I wrap my arms tightly around her and seal her lips with mine. Saya responds, winding her arms around my neck as our tongues desperately seek each other's warmth. At this moment, Saya is my whole world and I am hers. The earth turns for us alone. Of course, I still haven't told her something very important. I don't know why I've never said it before. Perhaps because it was always so obvious. However, I should put it into words at least once. This oath of mine.
さや、僕は君のことが。
待って。
She stops me with a finger against my
その
lips.
前にみのり、一つだけ確かめさせて。
僕の望み。
Saya nods, staring into my eyes with unusual solemnity.
さっきも言ったけど、私には私にしかできない方法で生き物の体に干渉できる。人間の脳をいじる方法もこれでちゃんと確認が取れたわ。
What do you mean you've learned how to manipulate human brains? Like, again, I think you did this. Like, in the first place. Saya pauses and takes a deep breath before continuing.
今ならあなたの頭を元の状態に戻すこともできるの。
Oh!
なんだって。
Until now, that hasn't even been in the realm of possibility.
その人にやったのと逆のことを文則にしてあげればいいだけ。とっても簡単なことよ。
I'm so curious right now. I don't know like what to believe or like the nature of what's going on here and how it got caused. I replay Saya's words in my head to be sure of their meaning.
だから文則、教えて。あなたが昔の暮らしに戻りたいかどうか。あの事故で失ったものを取り戻したいのか
I
どう
don't
か。
think he wants to. I think dude's kind of already bought in. This guy's already bought into Meat Wagon World. I don't think he's turning back. Oh! 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 Okay. Oh dear. It's I thought this was a kinetic visual novel, so I did not even know that this game had choices. But, for now, we will worry about those later. When next we meet, we will decide what we want to do. I kind of like I need to think this over. I want to probably try and explore everything that we can do here as much as possible. So, yeah, when we get back the next time, we will be making one of these decisions. So, thanks for coming out. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed your time here, and I'm really excited to find out what happens next. I hope you are too. Have a nice rest of your whatever, and I'll see you next time.